Good
All
morning.
right, me go or you
Yeah,
go?
going. Come on, let's do this conversation. Jump right into it, Gio. You know, most businesses fail, and most business owners who get burnt out because of this one thing. This conversation we're going to have is the conversation that will leave business owners today and tomorrow. I don't care where you're listening, leave you enabled, empowered to grow a big business that goes way beyond you, where people flock to your business because they know when they come to you, when they come to work here, that's where they grow. So you can actually work with anybody, even when they're difficult to work with. So, Gio, that's today's conversation, brother.
So today's conversation is how to build a winning team when people are difficult to work with. Have you ever had the experience that people are difficult to work with?
Never.
Yeah, like most of us do have that experience. Working with people is difficult. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't go well. And sometimes the environment is going great and things are great and people are connected and they're happy, and then they stop being connected and happy and something happens, and an upset happens, a complaint happens, or somebody's dealing with something in their life. Something happens that shakes the environment in which one works with. And then and then there is then what do we do? Do we just let people go? Yeah, but that has an impact. Has a cost. It costs to let people go. It has a cost for the business, small or large. And people tend to say things like, I've heard it before. It's like the biggest mistake a person can make is to not let go somebody fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the hiring, it's the firing process that matters. And I think it's very incomplete. And I think it's a really incomplete uh, assumption, very incomplete, because some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So here's some challenges that people have when they're creating a team, right? And if you are a small business owner, you certainly want to create a team. Otherwise, you're doing everything yourself, right? And if you're part of a large team, part of a big company, then certainly without a team, things are not going to move forward with the kind of velocity, innovation that a company needs. So it's about building a winning team. And getting people together doesn't create a winning team. And paying people a lot of money doesn't create a winning team. And hiring people with experience, with a lot of experience, and then just getting them to work together doesn't create a winning team. So it's a real challenge that most businesses have. And so today we want to unfold three aspects on how to create a winning team. Whether you have a very small business, you're just starting yourself, but you have to create a business, you have to create a team, or whether you're part of a large business and you're the manager and you're the leader, you're the project manager, and you've got to create a winning team. So here's some of the challenges, Saurel. Let me share them with you and tell me what your thoughts are on this. One of the challenges is that I have found is the solo expert, the solo expert to become an influential leader. What do I mean by that is no one does it like I do syndrome. It's
You've
like,
heard that
yeah,
one, right, Gio?
yeah, and I've felt it before too. No one does it like I do, so let me just go ahead and do it. I'm going to save time in the long run, because if I get somebody else to do it, then um, it's going to take longer. They're going to do it wrong. It's going to cost money, and it becomes this challenge, right? And then I think here's another challenge. I'm going to lay the three of them, and you tell me what your thoughts are. Delegating before training. It's like, oh, well, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and do it. And since I'm the boss, or since I own the company, you've got to do it, right? But I don't really train the person, or people don't really train the other person. So then it creates a big challenge, a big problem, because it doesn't get done right. And then the other big challenge that most company has, whether you're small or large, is because people leave before they actually are a contribution to the company. Because people leave because they're not growing themselves.
Yeah, and those three go hand in hand, Gio. You know, it's even in families, people suffer from this, right? You know, if I want to get it done, I'm going to do it myself. Nobody does it better than I do. And you know what? By the time I teach you how to do it anyway, I would have done it already. So why waste my time? So the first one, I do it better than most, connects to the second one. People, when they finally get to the point where they're burning out and they want to give somebody, request assistance from somebody else, it's as if they're throwing something over the wall with no instructions, no nothing, and lots of expectations of how it needs to be done and when it needs to get done, but none of that is communicated. And so in the end, both the person who's doing the delegating and the person who's being given the task or initiative end up frustrated. No growth happens on either side. And you're right, the company shrinks because people aren't growing around the leader. So there are some strategies, Gio, to building a winning team.
Yeah, I like to call them shifts. There's certain shifts that are necessary for a leader, for a project manager, for a manager, for a business owner to have in order to create a winning team. Not just people coming to work, a winning team. So the first shift is to go from you are hiring people to do something. You're going from there to hiring people so that you can build them.
Now,
You
Gio, pause for a
build
moment.
people. You don't just hire people to do something. You hire people so that you can build them.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
this is
Saurel.
a big one. This is a big one. And I want to just say it in a different way, right? When I own a company, when I work for a company, so it goes both ways. I hire people to do a job or I get a job. We're asking you to shift. We're asking you to make. You're not hiring people to do a job for you. You're hiring them because your mindset is that you're going to develop a winning team. So you're hiring people to develop them, to grow them, to expand them, to build a foundation for a winning team. That's a big shift.
It's a very big shift, and we can certainly spend a lot of time on that. I'm gonna say it in a different way. I certainly, once I make that shift, then I started being a bigger impact to companies. And it's that for the most part, there is a need. Also, this need requires a job, a role. Oh, and normally people would say, well, let me go ahead and define the role. It needs this to be done. 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 Oh, who would be the right person for this? Oh, it would be a person who has an experience in this and who has an experience in that, or who has went to school for this, who has worked in these areas, right? And so at that moment, I'm looking at hiring somebody for a task to get done.
Yeah.
The shift is it's certainly all of those things are valid, but the shift doesn't come. It's not, oh, I'm hiring somebody to get a job done. No, I'm hiring somebody to join a team so that I can build them and then they can be part of a particular culture, which is about building a culture of a winning team. And that, I've seen it over and over. People hire really experienced human beings and they don't match. and they hire the president for this, and they hire the executive who has this experience, right? Or they hire this person who has 10 years of experience in this other company, but it's not a match to the culture. So it's not, and I don't have a mindset of building a culture, a team, or building a person. So then they start fighting. And when you get really smart people to fight each other, it is worse when you hire really dumb people to fight each other. It's like
Fight
that's
will
when the
last
lawsuits happen. Go
forever.
ahead, sir.
I was going to say that fight will last forever because I can always win, right? So
Yeah, it's a tough one.
yeah,
So here's the next shift. And I think this is something I learned a lot from you. And this is when you're building that team, when you're building that culture, there is defining what does done looks like and what does done right looks like. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
yeah, being being that I love to make people wrong, Gio, when I delegate, it actually happens to be covertly an opportunity to make somebody wrong. Because see, I'm coming from the mindset that if I want it to get done right, I'm going to do it. So therefore, when I throw it over the wall without saying anything about my expectations, I do not tell you what it looks like when you're done. And that's what this word's talking to. So what does done look like? It's essential whether or not you are the one getting the task or you are the one delegating the task to be crystal clear about what done looks like. See, you go to a restaurant and you order a hamburger. Gio, done to you and done to me is pretty different, isn't it? How do you like your hamburgers? Medium well, well done?
Medium well.
Medium well. So when
or medium
comes to you and goes to the cook, done for you looks like medium well. And unless that's communicated, you're probably gonna get a rare or a well done hamburger and you won't be satisfied. So delegation in many companies sort of happen that way. People don't communicate what done looks like. And on the other end, the people receiving the task do not make it like a requirement for them. You do not delegate anything to me until you and I are aligned on what done looks like. And then also done right. What does it look to be done right? Do you want your hamburger with lettuce and tomatoes, mayonnaise, or do you want to hold the mustard? All of that comes into play. And we're going to peel the onion on that, on what it looks like to really delegate to someone. But that's a phenomenal shift. You cannot delegate until you make it absolutely crystal clear what done looks like and what done right looks like.
Yes.
And
go ahead, Saurel.
Yeah, and that takes us into the next shift, right, Gio? You can't delegate anything. It doesn't matter if you're delegating to an expert or delegating to an employee you've hired. You cannot delegate to anyone until you make your expectations and your requirements crystal clear. And that comes to delegating is not an opportunity to hand something off. It is always in the mindset of a leader who brings people in to develop them. It is always an opportunity to train and develop. So you must train before you delegate, not so you can delegate. You train before you delegate because that's how you approach the whole thing. You're bringing people to develop them. Therefore, delegating is essential because that's what gives you the opportunity to train and develop them.
Yeah. So I have a question for you as we are unfolding this conversation of training. Someone might think, right? If I'm going to hire somebody, if I'm going to bring somebody on board, right? The idea of hiring somebody, of bringing somebody on board, the idea is not to spend time training because they're supposed to know what I'm hiring them for. And there's some aspects that I don't know, that's why so I can't train them on something I don't know. So there are some aspects that I'm bringing someone because they're going to do something I don't know. So I can't train them necessarily. And there's the other aspect, which is, but but I'm hiring them for a reason. They're supposed to know. So how do you dance between the shift, training them before you delegate? How does that dance come about?
Yeah, that then, Gio, comes about that there are really two forms of delegating. One is that I own a car. I do not fix my own car. So in a way, I delegate to my mechanic the repair of my car, the maintenance of my car, right? But guess what? I still have to communicate to my mechanic how I want it done. I'm not going to tell them what to do or how to go about it, but what does it look like for me? Just like my hamburger. When you have met my expectations and met my requirements. So even when I'm outsourcing something, there's a common thread between delegation that demands that I make my expectations and my requirements really clear. So the same thing happens when I hire an expert. I hire you to be part of my team. But guess what? The first mind shift is that I hire you to develop you and to have you become an essential element of a culture. So the training and developing happening when delegating doesn't necessarily have to do with training you on how to do something. It is integrating you and bringing you into the culture. But guess what? Most people, not most, many companies also hire people who are new to the field. And the same mindset you're talking about, Gio, well, I hired you, you should know. They still go there. So when you make the shift from being someone who hires somebody to do a job, regardless of their competence, regardless of education, actually create an environment where people grow around you, regardless of how skilled they are or how accomplished they are. You cannot skip that step, or else you end up in a place where the frustration happens. And even though the person's an expert, they're not growing and they end up leaving you. They're not leaving they're not leaving the company, they're leaving you.
Got it. Got it. So, one of the aspects that, one of the aspects that a lot of people deal with is, well, I'm not, I'm not someone who believes that I can create a winning team. I don't pay them enough. The game is not big enough. I have a small business, right? So, this is not like taking people to Mars kind of business. It's not inspiring. And so, okay, so I'm going to make the shift, like what you're saying. Okay, I'm going to make the shifts. I don't I don't hire people to do a job. I'm going to hire people to develop them. But what am I going to develop them in? I just have a food truck, or I just have um, a franchise, or I'm just part of a team inside of a company. So what am I going to develop them in? I don't see myself that big. And then, okay, I get I get the shift of sharing with people what does done look like and what does done right looks like. However, my game is not big enough. So what have you seen or what have you done yourself to have a shift that no matter what you do, no matter what you're doing, you can create a winning team?
Yeah, The first mindset shift, Gio, comes with my game is not big enough. So consider that every game is small until I make that mindset shift that says, I'm here to develop you. And there's a tried and true way that I have applied, I have seen applied, that leaves me creating a winning team, even though I don't think I am, and even though I don't think I'm ready to. And it kind of goes this way. Whatever it is I'm doing, whether I'm running a food truck or I own a franchise, I come at it like this. My job here is to develop and grow others to replace me. Unless I'm being replaced, unless I'm not necessary for my business, I am failing. And there are 3 steps, 3 ways to train and develop people so that they replace you. And when they start replacing you, all of a sudden, the team around you starts to grow and you've got something bigger than you had. So it goes like this, 3 steps. 1, have them watch you do what you want to delegate. It may take a little while, but guess what? By the time they've watched you do it 2, 3, or 4 times, and you are satisfied that done and done right isn't something that's conceptual that you just communicated on paper. No, they actually saw it. They actually get a sense for what it is. They actually get a sense of how you, the vendors, and your clients are impacted when it's done and done right. Then you can move to step 2. Step 2 is you actually give it to them to do while you watch them do it. They do it, and you make any adjustment you need to make so that done right and done becomes something that they embody. And then once you're satisfied that they're doing it, it's complete and they're doing it right because you've watched them and you're satisfied, they get to do the 3rd step. They get to train somebody else on your team the same way you've trained them. So not only are you replacing yourself, but you're coaching and teaching the people who are replacing you to replace themselves. This is how the team mushrooms. And this is how the team itself ends up embodying done and done right in a way that leaves them growing and expanding on a continual basis, and in a way that leaves your customers and your clients satisfied. And if your customers and clients are not satisfied, one of the things they get to do is own up that, oh, I own that I didn't get it done, or I got it done, but it wasn't done right. So you essentially can take your business and give it away by practicing those 3 steps over and over and over.
Yeah, by giving them away, giving your business away, it means by creating a culture that creates teams.
Correct.
Yeah, not necessarily giving your business away. It's about creating a culture where people create people.
Yeah.
People build people constantly. It's the job is not done until I see someone do until I see someone do by themselves, training another person doing it. The training is not done until I see someone training another person do it and doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then at that moment you're building a business that's sustainable without you.
Without you. And that whole
That's really great.
Those 3 steps, that's what delegating looks like.
Yes, but I wasn't looking at that, Saurel. What I was looking at, and I thank you for creating that, and thank you for sharing that, is it's a big blind spot, certainly for me, for many years, and certainly now, as you're saying it. Wow, it's critical to see someone train another person, and only until I see someone train another person, I know that I am no longer needed there, and I've got to get myself there. But what I was pointing to, Saurel, is this other aspect of, well, but you see, my team is too small. I'm not training anybody right now, and nobody's training nobody right now, right? Or I'm not really going to hire anybody to train. There's no demand enough to build a team yet. It's just us. It's just four of us. It's just the 10 of us, and that's it. We're not going to be training anyone. And this business is not inspiring necessarily for the leader. It's like we're just here to make some money, but they get that if I see it that way, I'm not going to build people. So what I was discovering as you were speaking is, well, how do I build someone? How do I create a winning team? How do I attract a great mind? And so here's what I want to say so that we can wrap this up. You create a big enough goal where everyone is inspired by it. Sometimes the main leader's goal is too small. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then I go to a company and I'm thinking, I want to inspire them to make $1 million. This happened to me once, Saurel. I was hired to work with a small team. There were cats and dogs. Everyone was fighting. It was a family business, and they were fighting. And so therefore, I was brought to get the team working together, and so to fulfill a vision. And at that, I fulfilled the goal. And at that time, they were under the water for $200,000 at that time. So they had some income coming in, some sales, but they were losing money every month. So I asked them, what's the goal that you guys will be inspired by? And I was thinking they were going to say, okay, $1 million a year. No, the guy said 5 million a year. And I thought, you're crazy. You guys are barely talking to each other and you want to do 5 million a year, right? At that moment, I knew I needed to get myself out of the way. My goal is not big enough for the team to be inspired. And that's a critical aspect that I love for everyone to leave with, that as you're building your team, well, how do I bring great minds? Well, get them together and tell them, this is the goal that I want to achieve, but what is the goal that you would like to achieve? And sometimes your goal is the bold one, but sometimes team will tell you, no, let's go for a bigger one. Get out of the way. Go for the one your team is telling you. And that way you can start inspiring people to grow themselves, right? And then use the shifts that we talked today. Saurel, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Now, I tell you what, I hate to say it right at this minute, but I'm wondering if anyone has any questions or comments for you or me. What are your thoughts? You want to take one?
Yeah, sure.
We'll wrap up. Questions?
Yes. Comments, questions, yeah, buts. I love them all.
Ronald's got one.
Hey, at this being open, so I might as well shine up. So I think the goal not big enough kind of resonate with me. I think that's as big as you can create your goal, as big as the people that in your team gonna eventually follow you. Um, so that's something I'm actually last week decided to take on, is building up the goal and looking at different marketing source to really build. One thing that I'm looking at home insurance. I mean, basically, remediation home. Um, After disaster kind of situation, burn house, flooded and stuff like that. And also, I'm also looking at veterans home. So these are the new goal that I'm setting up right now. So I think it does make a difference when you set how big you want to grow. So I figured I chime in to, just as a comment.
Yeah.
See where
Thank
I'm
you,
basically telling myself I got to do this.
Now, as you set those big goals, Ronald, uh, look and see if you want to go in that direction, encouraging you to go in that direction. Most people will wait until they begin traction with the goal to actually build a team. The corollary to what Giovanni is pointing to is that, yeah, set the goal really big. And sometimes it's the people on your team who are going to set a goal bigger than you. So don't discount the magnitude of the goal coming from somebody other than you. So I'm saying also consider building a team before you think you need one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Well, that is it. Gio, thank you.
You're welcome, Saurel. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for those of you who are here. And for those of you who join us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, come back, and keep developing yourself. Don't give up. No matter what happens, don't give up.
Yeah, we're here every Monday, and we'll leave you with this note. If you're not growing where you are, find a place where you can grow. And if you're the owner of that place and they're leaving you, get into the business of growing people.